Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So today's story time is an absolutely insane one, and it's also a very recent one. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Leave a like on the video if you do, and let's just jump into it. So today's story time takes place like 10 hours ago. Yeah, it's currently 11 a.m. as I'm filming this, and I was at a party last night. That is where today's story time takes place. It is a very recent one. So let's just say yesterday night, just to make it easy. Okay, so the story time takes place yesterday night. I got invited to my friend's birthday party. He rented out a huge Airbnb and was hosting his birthday party there. He does it like every year, and this was going to be the last one because obviously it's very expensive to rent an entire mansion out and have a bunch of people come over and pay for all the alcohol. Like, it's not cheap. So he was doing the final one yesterday, and he invited me a few months ago. So I was like, yeah, man, I'll be there. So yeah, it was time to go to the party last night. I called up the two people that were going to be coming with me. They came over to my house first. We kind of hung out at my house for a little bit first just to I guess kick it and then go together. So yeah, my two friends came over. We were hanging out at my house for a little bit. And then about 7:30, 8 p.m. rolled around. It was time to go to the party. I lived about 30 minutes from the Airbnb. So we jumped in the car, drove to the party. We got there. And guys, I don't really talk about it that much, but I don't really drink or smoke anymore. It's just not my thing. Every time I've tried to hit a joint or take a sip of some alcohol, I usually end up just having a panic attack, and I don't know why that happens, but it just happens. So I tend to just avoid it altogether. And honestly, it's probably good that I do, because if I smoke or drink, I just become the laziest individual on planet Earth. And if you think my upload schedule is bad now, yeah, dude, if I was smoking, I'd probably end up uploading once a year. Anyway, that's besides the point. We get to the party. I didn't have any plans to smoke or drink or anything, right? I did not want to do anything because I'm just not in the mood. My friends, on the other hand, they definitely smoke a little bit of weed and drink and, party a little bit. And that's fine. That's their thing. Whatever, right? So we get to the party. It's packed. We were one of the last people to show up. I don't know why people showed up so early, because it was supposed to start at 7:38, but we showed up and it was fucking packed with people. Now, let me just say, I knew almost nobody at this party. My friend that was having it was his birthday. I knew him, but a majority of his friends I didn't know. So there was probably 60 people that I just did not know, right? And probably about 5 that I did know. So very, very kind of overwhelming, So we get in there, and me and my friends are kind of in our own little group. We're hanging out by the stairs, just sitting there. At one point, we hopped on the beer pong table, played a little bit of that. Like I said, I don't drink, so I was just playing for fun and, playing against my friends and stuff. And it was cool for the most part. The first, hour or so was, very normal, very chill. Well, not chill, but very, not problematic. But then the second hour rolled around, and this is really when things get interesting. So I hear a knock on the front door, right? And I'm like, okay, someone must be here. I open the door. It's the pizza guy. My friend ordered pizza. But then behind him, there's another man, a lot older. Okay, so the pizza guy was probably in his 20s, and the guy behind him was probably about a 50-year-old man. Okay, older guy. And I was like, huh, maybe the pizza guy just brought his dad with him. I don't know, right? But then after I let the pizza guy in, this 50-year-old man walks in and proceeds to start walking upstairs to one of the bedrooms in the house. And I run over to my friend, and I'm like, yo, the pizza's here. Also, some 50-year-old guy just wandered in here and went upstairs. You might want to get on that. He's like, what? So he walks over there, and he, checks it out. And he goes, oh, no, what's up, man? And he, daps this 50-year-old dude up and gives him a hug. And I was like, what the hell is happening? Is that his dad or something? And my friend comes back downstairs, and he's like, yo, so this is actually my 10th grade teacher. And I was like, you invited your 10th grade high school teacher to a party? He's like, yeah, man, he's chill. And I was like, I mean, hey, man, it's your party. Fuck it. I'll take your word for it. So after that, I go back to the beer pong table, right? And go back to playing with my friends. And this 50-year-old man wanders over. And he goes, I got next. AKA, I want to play who wins. So I'm like, okay. So I end up winning, right? Me and my friend, we win against our other friends. And they step back. And this dude comes over. He's like, I need a partner. Who's playing with me? And some random kid at the party comes over. And he's like, I'll play. And I'm like, all right. So he jumps in, right? So we got this teacher, this 10th grade whatever teacher. I think he was a history teacher or something. And then this random dude versus me and my friend. And we start playing, and it's going well. Me and my homie are kicking their ass. This dude should stick to teaching because he fucking sucked at beer pong, and we were destroying him. And we end up winning, right? Completely just crushing them within 10 minutes. And we're like, let's do it again. Let's rematch. And he's like, okay. So we play him again. And this dude, the whole time, this teacher, crushing beer, like pounding it. Even when he's not losing, he's crushing his beer, right? Just chugging that shit. Clearly, he wanted to feel something very quickly. But anyway, we end up beating them again. We won, and then they both wandered back off into the crowd of the party. And I didn't see that guy for a while after that, probably about 30 or 40 minutes. But when I see him again, something happened that I did not expect, okay? So about 40 minutes later, I'm on one of the balconies, right, of this house. It was a pretty big house. I found a bedroom upstairs that had a balcony, and I'm sitting out there kind of just by myself, unwinding for a second. Like, it was super loud in there, so I was just kind of chilling, letting the, the quietness of the outside kind of chill me out for a bit, right? Not that I was freaking out, but I just wanted a minute of peace. And all of a sudden, I hear the door opening up behind me. And I turn around, and it's none other than that teacher and the dude that he was partnered with in beer pong. And I really didn't want to interact with them. I kind of just wanted some alone time, but I was like, I don't want to be mean. So I put my hand up and I was like, hey, long time no see, guys. What you been up to? And they were like, oh, what's up, man? How you doing? Like, we're just out here to smoke. And I was like, okay. No, I thought they meant like smoke a cigarette. But this teacher pulls out like a bubbler out of his back pocket. Kind of a big thing to have in his pocket. Pulls it out and just starts ripping this thing. Now, I didn't say anything, but I was definitely thinking like, damn, this teacher, like, he really likes to party. Okay. And he passes it to the other dude, and the other dude hits it, and then the other dude goes to pass it to me. And I was like, hey, I appreciate it, but I don't smoke. And the dude went to pass it back to the teacher, and the teacher takes it and then goes to pass it to me again. And he smiles at me. Now I'm thinking, okay, this dude's in his 50s. Maybe he has hearing loss. So I'm like, hey, sorry, I don't smoke. I said it again, right? Because maybe he just didn't hear me the first time. And he goes, I heard you the first time. And I was like, cool, so pass the bowl to the other dude, not me. And he's like, no, like, you're going to smoke with us. Come on, you're out here. We're all having a good time. It's a good party. Let loose a little bit, man. Like, you got to let loose. It's a party. And I was like, I'm good. I'm loose. I don't need to smoke. He's like, come on, you're going to smoke with us. Come on. He tries to pass it to me again. And I was like, sir, I'm good. He's like, come on, don't be a pussy. And I'm sitting there in my head thinking, yo, this dude teaches the youth for a living. He molds the minds of children. And he's telling some dude, don't be a pussy because he doesn't want to smoke weed. It's like the number one thing I was told in school by every teacher, like, don't give in to peer pressure. Don't give in to peer pressure from your peers. Well, this dude's not even a peer. He's a fucking teacher, and he's giving me peer pressure. So I said that. I was like, pretty sure I remember learning in school not to give in to peer pressure. And you're a teacher, so what does that mean? He's like, all right, call it teacher pressure. And I was like, if I take a hit of this thing, will you leave me alone? He goes, sure. So I took a hit. He passed it to me. I took a hit. It did not feel good. I coughed for about 10 minutes straight after that. And they went back inside. And I just kind of sat out there and thought to myself, I really just got peer pressured by a fucking 10th grade teacher. And a couple minutes later after that, my friend actually came out, the one that was hosting the party. He's like, hey man, what are you doing out here? I was like, well, I was just sitting here enjoying the sound of the outside. And then your teacher came out, your 10th grade teacher, and peer pressured me to smoke with him. He goes, no way. I was like, yep. I just took a hit because I wanted him to leave me alone. I was enjoying my quiet time. And he starts cracking up. He's like, yo, you're hilarious. And I was like, eh. He's like, that's story worthy, right? Like, you got to talk about that. And I was like, you think? He's like, yeah, you should. So here I am, like 10 hours later or so, talking about it. I usually don't tell stories this quick. I usually hold on to them, but it was just so funny and like random. I was like, you know what? I'm going to tell it. You're probably wondering how the rest of the party went. It was actually pretty normal. I bumped shoulders a couple times with that teacher. Like, I saw him and stuff, and like he said hi to me. And when I was leaving, he said goodbye. He was very nice, but still, like, it was just such a wild fever dream of an experience. And almost everybody at the party agreed. Like, everybody I talked to, everyone that knew him, they were like, yo, why is our teacher here? Because I didn't go to school with this guy, but a lot of other people from the party did. And every time I talked to someone, they'd be like, yeah, it's kind of weird that my 10th grade teacher's here. So yeah, pretty weird. And I heard that he was a history teacher or something. So yeah, if you have history and you go to the school he went to, don't give in to his peer pressure, I guess. But yeah, that leads me to the moral of this story. Moral of the story is, not to sound like your teacher, but don't give in to peer pressure, okay? Like, if you're not comfortable with something, just don't do it. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this story time. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys all later. Peace.
I be fully loaded, I be whipping foreign cars. Always stay devoted, mama knew I'd be a star. door.